Don't be deceived by appearances. Yes, I'm beginning this journey with low-level players, but that doesn't mean they're bad. They all seem friendly and full of enthusiasm. After playing this game countless times, I've developed a certain fear of that moment when the map first reveals itself, because there's always that one player who charges straight at a wolf and gets killed. Fortunately, that didn't happen this time. I wanted to get the first child as quickly as possible, but unfortunately, some of the wolves were still on the other side of the wall. I went ahead to gather fuel when I heard that one of my female friends was already fighting a wolf. I had to keep an eye on her. She managed to defeat the wolf, but she barely made it out alive. What a relief! I could finally get back to gathering fuel. Oh yes, of course. My female teammate went for a second wolf and succumbed. As I rushed to rescue my fallen teammate, another female player reached her first, and to my amazement, she revived her. They weren't high-level players, but they were working hard, and the campfire was soon upgraded. By the morning of the second day, the campfire had already reached level 4, and the future looked bright. With the map revealed, the first child could finally be rescued. I left the task to my female teammate, but for some bizarre reason, I would never see that child again. Teammate female Ashiley was now dead for the first time. Not a big deal. And once again, to my amazement, someone had revived the fallen teammate before I could reach them. It was only the second day, and I was already very satisfied with my team's performance, even though one of them had already disconnected. In the early hours of day 3, female Ashiley had fallen once again. Apparently, she had spent the night back in the cave and must have met her end either to the wolves or to hunger. I've grown used to the ungratefulness of players by now, so I just revive them and quickly move on. By day 3, the campfire had reached level 5. I was very satisfied. So I happily set out to rescue another child when one of my female teammates was suddenly killed. But once again, someone had revived her before I could even set out to reach her. On my way back to camp, I stumbled upon the ruby chest, and even better, I pulled the mighty chainsaw from within. I noticed that 2 shelves had been placed in a highly suspicious way, but I decided to ignore it. We had a huge pile of scrap, but no wood at all, so I chopped down a few trees before heading toward the snow area to get myself a much-needed hat. That night, we came under attack from the cultists, so I rushed back to camp, only to find that my female teammates had already defeated them. I was both impressed and satisfied. I then spent several days working tirelessly, day and night, chopping down trees without rest. Later that day, while I was gathering scrap, female Stephanie had fallen once again, so I rushed to her rescue. Whenever I revive a player and they remain frozen, it's always a terrible sign. I returned to camp in the morning to find that one of the female players was spending all the scrap on, yes, you guessed it, shelves and more shelves. The most irritating part was that she wasn't even placing them properly. Either way, I decided to build the base with saplings. My teammates had been putting in real effort and working hard. Yes, even if they had died countless times, it didn't matter. In the quiet rhythm of the forest, their persistence shone brighter than any setback, a testament to the strange resilience of this little tribe, struggling to survive the wild. I worked tirelessly, day and night, planting those saplings, still fueled by a strong surge of motivation. Female Eshelly had died of hunger this time. The following day, I kept planting saplings while my teammates seemed to lose focus. Not a good sign. I was nearly halfway through with the trees, though. Female Eshelly had perished yet again and was, once more, entitled to another revival. This time, however, I had no bandages left, so I had to set out in search of more. I spent the entire day searching and risking my life until I finally found a bandage. But by the time I did, one of my female teammates had disconnected without a word. I revived my female teammate, and for once, she was actually grateful. I was now able to focus on finishing the base. The cultists were back that night, and we all survived. Well, female Eshelly, despite surviving the cultists, failed to survive hunger. As I was getting ready to search for bandages, I discovered that one of the female players had chopped down some of the trees I had planted, and it was infuriating. I wanted to finish the base so desperately, but unfortunately that was never going to happen. On the night of our 41st day, female Stephanie, whom I had accepted as a friend, decided to die and then disconnected. My only remaining teammate, female Eshelly, uttered her first and last words. Me save. Her sense of entitlement no longer mattered. The team was broken, scattered like footprints in fresh snow. And yet, in the quiet wilderness, I would still press on, fighting until the very end. Luck was on my side, as I quickly found a bandage and revived female Eshelly in a safe zone. In the quiet stillness of that fragile moment, I waited patiently for her body to stir, watching over her with the steady vigilance of a lone guardian in the wilderness. For a little while, I remained by her side, making sure her breath stayed steady and her life did not slip away, a silent sentinel against the gathering shadows. She paused for a moment, then remembered how to walk and continued on her way. Night was approaching, and her little legs were beginning to feel the strain. We were now closer to the camp, but the female couldn't resist the urge to swing from a tree. The owl had arrived, so I ran away from the female to lure it away. The owl, however, didn't fall for it and devoured my female teammate. I would have to find more bandages, even though my motivation had finally vanished. I searched everywhere for medical supplies, and many times I found myself on the brink of death, yet I pushed forward. Days passed as I searched for medical supplies, until I finally found a med kit. The female turned around in wonder, as if awakening from a dream and seeing the forest for the first time in her life. She would eventually begin her slow walk toward more pointless and reckless behavior. We eventually arrived at the camp, which was now occupied by the cultists. It was now evident who had been the criminal that chopped down the trees days earlier. The female destroyed the trees and broke into the base to do exactly what you would expect. She made sure every single cultist became aware of her presence, drawing them in like moths to a blaze, and lured them all into a narrow clearing where she could welcome their spears into her flesh. I retrieved her small, fragile body and carried her away from the chaos as I struggled to decide what to do next. No amount of bandages could salvage the disaster my team had become. Our base was ruined, our progress erased, and my last teammate had the survival instincts of a loose pine cone. So with nothing left to save, and nothing left to lose, I made the only logical choice a broken survivor could make. In the end, I still had one final duty to fulfill: to get rid of the ungrateful players who had dragged our mission into ruin.